Hello, everybody. Good morning. I guess it's afternoon because it's 12 noon, so I should say good afternoon. It's Tuesday, July 25th. I am Annie Brock, President and CEO of the Leader Transition Institute. I'm here right now because it's the day and time for our monthly training and coaching session. Today is going to be a short lesson because I want to teach a couple of points, and then I want you to take some time to do some work thinking about how you fill in those points on your own. In Changing Focus, the program that we provide, it's called Changing Focus, Moving from We to Me. We provide it for service members and military spouses and veterans who are transitioning from military service into the civilian sector. We spend an entire day talking about individual purpose, individual vision, creating a plan to create the rest of your life with. And part of what we do during that day is we talk about the 8 dimensions of life. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. I'm just going to add the image up here next to me so that you can see it. When we operate in life, when we are living, we like in Changing Focus and LTI, we like to talk about 8 dimensions to our life. When we are operating in all of those dimensions, we are living a full life. And it's not always possible to operate in all of them at one time. There's no such thing as having a balanced life. A balanced life is giving equal time to one thing at one point in time, and then giving it to another in another point in time, so things can maybe balance out, and very often actually they don't balance out. But what we want you to do is to live a full life. We want you to take into consideration these 8 dimensions. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over each of the 8 dimensions, and I hope you'll copy them down onto a piece of paper or into a doc on your phone or on your device. And then I want you to go back and evaluate, where am I in this dimension of life? Am I making adequate progress there? Are there some things I could do better? And if I did that, I would feel like I'm living a more full life. So let's just start. When we start talking about this, very often we start with spirituality, with the spiritual dimension. Spirituality is a very broad area. It means different things to different people. For some people, it's a belief in a higher power, with or without participating in organized religion. Organized religion has nothing to do with actually being spiritual, but most times we categorize it into the spiritual part of our life. But you don't have to have or be a part of an organized religion to have spirituality in your life. For some people who don't believe in a higher power, the spiritual part of their life is when they spend time getting in touch with themselves through self reflection, meditation, or time in nature. Overall, I'd say spirituality is a sense of being connected to something that's higher than ourselves. Dimension 2, family. Now, that's can be a really thorny issue for some people, but research shows that our family relationships are important to our physical, mental, and emotional well being. We all have immediate families, we have extended families, and sometimes we choose our family. There's no family that's right, except for the family that you decide is your family. So, are you spending time with your family? Are you connected to the people that you call family? If you're not, I'd offer that it's time to choose that. Health. We need to all be aware of and take care of our physical and our mental health. When you get preventive care, it reduces your risk for disease and disability as you age, and it even increases your longevity. I read an article recently that for Adding reasonable significant exercise, half an hour every day of good solid exercise to your life can extend your life significantly. It's the number one thing that can increase your longevity. Now, most of us are paying for health insurance of some kind in some way. I would encourage you to find out what's covered in the area of preventive care in your insurance and take advantage of it. Because even if you're not using your health insurance any other way, if you get your annual physical and the preventive care that they offer as part of what you're paying for, at least you're getting something for your money, and perhaps you'll find out where you stand and where you need to make changes to improve your health. Dimension three is career. And if you're in the process of transitioning from the military to the civilian sector, you'll want to relabel this dimension as transition. But if you're not, if you are working and you have a career, I want you to take stock of your career. Where are you? And where do you want to go with it? What does that take? What do you need to do? Don't just roll along, float along. That that's not going to get you where you want to go. And even if you don't know where you want to go, decide, think about it. Nobody ever on their deathbed said, "Oh, I was happy just with whatever happened to me." More people are sad about what didn't happen than what did happen. So if you want to do something in your life career-wise, be clear about that and take steps to point yourself in that direction. Whether we like it or not, finances, the next dimension, they are a part of our lives. I have some questions for you. How prepared are you for unexpected events? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you know your net worth, and is it positive or negative? Do you have the things you need in life? What about the things you want? And what percent of your debt would you consider high interest, such as credit cards? Is it more than 50%? Are you actively saving for retirement? Do you feel you're on track to meet your long term goal? Do you even have a long term goal? So many people tell me they're saving for retirement, but they don't know what that means. What what is your retirement goal? And last but not least, in the financial area, do you have enough life insurance coverage? I will tell you that at LTI, we're a big fan of term life insurance, and we're a big fan of getting term life insurance today if you don't already have it. You will never be younger or healthier than you are today. And life insurance is based on your age, or the rates you pay for life insurance is based on your age and your health. And so you want to get it at the youngest age possible and at your healthiest possible. So make sure that you have adequate life insurance, and that SGLI doesn't count. If you do not have a civilian life insurance policy that will replace SGLI whenever that is that you leave military service and SGLI no longer covers you, then you can't say you have enough life insurance coverage. You need to have SGLI and something else. I know it sounds like double payment. It is. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. The next dimension, dimension number 6, is social. Spending time with other people is important. Some of us are very happy to have alone time, but isolation can become unhealthy. We are all better when we feel that we're part of something. Feeling alone is detrimental to your health, all the aspects of your health. Which then takes us to love. The value of having love and affection in our lives, it's fairly obvious. Sometimes we get this through a romantic partner or a relationship, And unfortunately, there's a narrative in our society that if you're uncoupled or single, that there must be something wrong with you. That's wrong. Each of us is complete as we are. And there are ways to have love in your life without having a romantic partner or a relationship. You could have a fur baby, or if having a pet is not something that works for you, volunteer at an animal shelter or volunteer with people or children who could benefit from having you in their life. Having loving relationships in our life is good for us. So if you are living as a single, please don't forget and or write off this dimension of your life. The last dimension I want to talk about is personal growth. We need to continually be growing ourselves, whether that's formally or on our own. There's a thing about plants and trees. As long as they're alive, they are growing. They are always growing. When a plant stops growing, it's starting to die. And I'm a firm believer that we need to be that way as human beings. So I want to reiterate that not one of these dimensions of life is more important than another. We need to be working in all 8 of these dimensions. So I challenge you to evaluate yourself in the spiritual dimension, in the family, in health, career, financial, social, love, and personal growth. And ask yourself, where do I stand? Where do I need to put some effort? Because we are at towards the end of the month of July, which means we are well into the second half of 2023. If you're not going and growing in your life the way you want to be, maybe it's because you're off in one of the dimensions. Think about it as a pebble in a tire. A pebble in the tire in one place affects all the rest of the tire. So think about where you've got that pebble in your dimensions of life and get back on track. I'm going to put up our website here into the below me so that you can see it. You can reach out to us here. If you're interested in finding out more about changing focus, go here. We have cohorts coming up in September, October, 2 in November, 1 at the beginning, 1 at the end. If you're transitioning from the military into civilian sector, we encourage you to participate in changing focus when you are at least 2 years out. You can participate in it anytime, but we encourage you to start that transition at least 2 years out from leaving active duty. So thank you for spending this short time with me today. I look forward to interacting with you here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, all of the places where we are. Make it a good one. Bye-bye.